Carter County Planning and Zoning. He's the director there. I think most of you know who he is and everything. You know, last month John there gave us a presentation. And this month Chris is, and John came in case there's something they need to communicate to us from both entities. So I think that's very good. And after they finish, then Dan Winters is going. Dan, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We got to get a light atmosphere in here a little bit more, don't we? Dan's going to be talking about the future of education, and Miss Sherry couldn't make it today. Dean Philip Nave is going to be talking about facilities, age, improvements, and upgrades, and so forth. And then at the last, I want to ask Keith to talk to us about community information gathering meetings, and let us know where we're going to start at, so we can go ahead and go on our listening tour. Does anyone have any comments or questions before we begin? Mr. Schuettler?
Thank you all for your time today. I want to apologize. My computer kind of went south on me today. First thing this morning, wasn't able to fix it. So we're going to go the old school. I made copies of the planned growth areas. Now John did a really good presentation here the last time for you guys. I actually watched it on YouTube on elizabethanstar.com.
Excuse me, Chris. Does everybody know that you can go to YouTube and get that presentation from our last meeting? It's on there. And it looks real good. I watched part of it and I saw some old beardy fellow at the beginning with it, just turned my stomach, so I had to change it.
Mr. Mullins does a good job of videographer here.
That really looked good.
John, you need one. These are the old maps that we actually did back in, started in 89, 99, and are actually filed at the courthouse. I tried to reduce them down for you so we can get them on at least by 11 by 17. The darker areas are planned growth areas. Now in PC 1101, John gave you a real good background on it, a lot of information. Cities used urban growth areas that they expanded out and into a planning type region that the city regional planning commission utilized. Carter County has a regional planning commission too, and by utilization of our regional planning commission, we went into planned growth areas. And if you notice, it's the darker hatched areas. And let me see if I can get this thing to flip over without falling. Oh, we're doing good. I noticed there was one question on the YouTube video about the city of Johnson City. This is actually my old presentation maps to the county court. If you notice these red areas, or they look red to me, they may be a dark orange or something. But these areas here, that's where the city of Johnson City's urban growth areas protruding into Carter County. And like John said, you know, they have to reconvene the boards if they decide to expand or contract either way.
John emailed me that information also, and I will forward it on to the rest of you. I just want to do it after today.
Also, John spoke on the city of Watauga. This is the light green. These areas here, and they just have a basic planning commission. They don't really expand out, and they're kind of in a turmoil right now of which way they're going. I don't think they really started meeting until about 1.5 years ago. But the blue areas, which are the dark hatched areas that you see here, are the urban growth areas, planned growth areas for Carter County. You notice the strip along the Rome Mountain area is basically a commercial planned growth area with some residential intermixed with it. Also, you're looking around the Hampton area. There's some expandable areas where the McLeans live out in that area, which has expanded probably to its capacity now. But then you go on into the Stony Creek, Siam area, which is probably our largest area. That would entail probably Valley Forge, Hunter, Unaka High School, and Unaka Elementary. And then we also look to the northern corridor, northern portion of the city of Elizabethton, which is our Watauga area where there's still a lot of developable lands, and the 19E corridor, which runs through this way towards Sullivan County line, which would affect naturally Kingburg and Range. Of course, there's some type of agreement through the education system. Anyone past 19 going west and to the Watauga River, they go to actually can go to city high schools. So, and I think it also conforms with around in this urban growth area here in Valley Forge of the Colonial Heights subdivision in there. So that's some considerations. I did have a nice map that had all our nice little schools on it and had a picture of them. They were blowed up, but naturally I couldn't bring it out. A lot of things went into the planning under PC 1101. If you'll just flip through countywide, city had it a lot easier than we did. County, we had to go in, and all our utility districts, we had to go in and map actually where they're at. And back then it was a very tedious task for me because I had to hand map it. So we have our utility districts. We had to go in with our sheriff's departments, which is next map, and their zones of coverage, which are basically the same now. Our fire districts with a 5-mile radius around each firehouse to be able to see what services are out there and the county helps support. Now the next map is a barrier to developments. That map is anything that's greater than a 20% slope, which are very hard to develop on. Very rarely do we have anything other than mountain subdivisions, which entails more retired type individuals. Those are mainly around Rome Mountain area, some around the lake. With the new Watauga Regional Water, I'm looking for that area to kind of explode here in the next 10 years with lake house type situations, subdivisions, possibility of condos going in on 321 now that they have municipal water there. So that's something we need to look at later on. Flood prone areas, we had to calculate and pull all that information. And then the next map that will kind of get you interested in something, all this dark hatched area is actually publicly owned lands. These lands, Forest Service owns, TVA, Carter County, State of Tennessee, all these areas, they're undevelopable because they are public lands. There may be a prison go on it or something of that nature, which our Rome Mountain facility is. But that's something we had to take into consideration. And my secretary made a faux pas and did a second map of the same thing. But basically what we're looking at now is John and I communicate pretty good together, a whole lot better than it's been in years, and really be closer than that throughout time. Like John said, anything that comes into, say, the Lynn Valley, that subdivision that's going in there now, that Mr. Street owns at this time, that falls under their subdivision regulations. They'll bring the information into us and we just give it our blessing and send it on to John. That's the way PC 1101 works. Now the city of Johnson City has not utilized that as of today. We still maintain all the control of the subdivision. They've never relinquished that, or we've never had to relinquish it over to them. We naturally did the city of Elizabeth and they requested it. Now on annexations in these urban growth areas, we have no problem. We have a good communication over there, and we just contact back and forth, and the annexations go in. So far, all of it's been totally commercial properties. City of Watauga, they haven't expanded anything. They really don't have any services to expand. The services are held basically by Elizabeth Electric System, Elizabeth and Waters. Right now, everything that we have that may possibly go on is, like I said, in the area around Little Milligan Elementary. We're looking at possibility of condos. These will be more like weekend condos. Individuals come in, they stay a weekend. It's probably not going to be a permanent type residence. We're looking at some in the West Carter County area around the Blue Springs on the new corridor for the southern bypass, of a possibility of a 20-lot subdivision. And it's still very up in the air. These individuals don't know if they're going to actually develop or not. And everything else has just been piecemeal. One lot here, you know, son and daughter gets a lot from the family members, things of that nature. So it's been very slow. I don't foresee anything in quite a while of exploding like we did back in the late 80s and through the 90s. I just don't foresee that happening. And John gave you such a good presentation, I didn't think I need to go into any more explanation than PC 1101. He did a real good job. Any questions?
Roan Mountain,
Yes, sir.
do you foresee within the next 20 years much growth in that area? That's the valley of 19E, isn't it?
Everything on 19E is pretty much grown as far as residential. I can see some commercial.
Commercial is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, commercial. I foresee a commercial coming, especially if the utilities there progresses more.
What about the infrastructure and all that?
The infrastructure. I'm speaking of the infrastructure there. You know, the big growth we had there in Hampton. It took us 5 years to get the package plant for McDonald's and get it approved. That's from start to finish, and I think it cost the guy $2.2 million by the time he had it permitted. That's not construction costs. That's just all the hoops he had to jump through. So I don't foresee any package plants. If municipal sewer goes in that area or regional top sewer, I can see some quick growth, but it's going to be commercial.
You know, look at this thing with the government land
Mm-hmm.
and the urban growth plan for the city
Mm-hmm.
and the state lines and so forth. There is not a lot of potential growth in Carter County, either residential or industrial, is there?
No, I don't foresee it. You know, our best laying land actually is in the Siam district out in that area. Of course, that's all family-owned properties. Majority of it's the old Allen Dairy. The Goodwins own a lot of property in there.
I guess what I'm really getting at, you know, industry brings families in.
Yes, sir.
Most of the property is already bought up except the government lands, which you cannot build on anyway.
Right.
So our student enrollment, I don't see too much area of growth in student enrollment, that it should stay what it is or decrease. I noticed for the last 20 years it's been decreasing, a steady decrease. And I don't see anything that would change that decrease in enrollment. That's what I was looking at
Yeah.
with all this stuff, with the city and all that stuff. And if the city expands, that would create more of a situation of decreased enrollment.
Right.
Correct. Do you both see it that way? Is my analogy?
Now, there will be some growth in the Roan Mountain area. Most of it will be commercial.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know this, but they've been talking about the Roan Mountain Sewer Project for what, 10 years?
Actually, in '98, when I did the 404 mitigation program where we bought all the properties out, one of the pieces of property we had that we actually purchased out will be considered an area for a municipal sewer system for the actual plant.
Up there near the bridge?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's been in plans for years. Also, I've got it to where it could gravity feed all the way there. So we looked at that. That'll take in the state park, a sewer line, a branch line through that whole area, regional sewer. We could take in the state park, gets their cabins, their package plants at its maximum capacity as far as I know at this time. We'd also take in the state prison, which also has a package plant also. Everything that is developable in that area for commercial and the majority of residential could gravity flow actually to that area.
Do you see any potential for a major manufacturing facility going in that area up there, which would bring in families?
No.
No, sir.
No.
You see what I'm looking at? Bringing families, gonna
Yeah.
bring in students.
What'll be coming in Roan Mountain area, I think. You know where the motel is in Roan Mountain? You know where, though, it's right there beside Roan Mountain Pharmacy. There's a motel there.
Oh, up there where Elvis Presley stayed one time.
Yeah, anyway, that property has been sold. That little road in front of that property, not the highway, there's a little road there. That road has been closed. And that land will be developed for something. I don't know what. I foresee in the future, I may not live long enough to see it, but I can see maybe a motel coming to Roan Mountain area. Maybe a supermarket like Save-A-Lot. But as far as growth for schools, I don't see that, but I do see some small businesses going there, possibly some kind of a sporting goods store or something maybe like a Mass General store or maybe a couple small restaurants. But definitely we're looking toward a motel sometime in the future.
So none of that would impact?
None of that will
anything?
impact your school
Won't
population,
impact the
no.
actual school population, that's what I'm looking for, see if there's anything in that area.
I really don't. Yes.
Up from Valley Forge through Unaka, up through Stony Creek, up through that area.
Yes.
I see some potential there. Is there anything you can foresee will go in through there that will bring in student enrollment?
You know, at this time, as far as where Carter County tomorrow stands, as far as expansion of the industrial park or anything of that nature, I don't know of any other than the area that we have here on Judge Ben Allen, that area. If a large manufacturer was to come in, you know, they're going to be looking for that area up in their good bottom land, someplace that they could actually go in and develop cheaply.
The industrial,
That would be the only thing that I could see. There's still a little bit of land left in our industrial park. As far as a huge manufacturer, I don't foresee anything coming in the near future. I can see some redevelopment of some manufacturers here, which is very important. And there's a possibility of bringing in a few new individuals. I don't foresee a huge spike in the population as far as the children and the education system as far as hurting
So
that.
in thinking of the future of the size of schools and number of students and so forth, we're probably about peaked right now.
Yeah, I'd say we peaked probably several years
Yeah,
ago.
well, I'm talking, we're at the peak that we're going to see in the next 20 years. I think, that's what I think.
Yeah, and you look at the population growth and the statistics now, you know, the size of families are going down quickly.
Yeah, so we can plan on what we have or less.
Right. I would assume so.
I think Chris hit the nail on the head. I think as far as houses going up and the population increases, I think he's right. I think the Siam area is probably a strong point. As far as industrial, you're looking at the Oklahoma area over near the interstate. That's where, that's the target area we're looking at for industrial development.
May I ask,
Yes, sir,
have
Mr.
been any comments or questions in reference to the Siam area as far as road improvements? Getting in there is a little bit of a
It's
problem.
tricky.
Yeah, get into the Siam area. Of course, we have the new Siam Bridge, which really opened that area up. But Steel Bridge Road through there is still a tough road. The possibilities of improving that road is you know, sky's the limit on it because it will be easy to fix. The Blue Springs Road up into that point of Steel Bridge Road is a pretty decent road, even though it has one pretty major S-turn there. Coming through east side from the city of Elizabeth and back over is a large possibility too. Or coming on the old Siam Road through Beck Mountain back into the Siam area. Either one of those three areas would be possible, doable. Whether it happens.
We're talking a couple decades.
Yeah, I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime.
What about Gap Creek, that road going through Gap Creek?
Southern
And the
Connector.
northern connector, both?
Northern Connector, I don't know what the status is on Northern Connector.
The Northern Connector project has been kind of turned into the 91 project.
Right.
Basically, what the TDOT is planning on doing is coming in and widening parts of Elk Avenue, and that will qualify for our Northern Connector project.
So
That
they're not
was-
going to go across the river or anything?
No, that was the preferred option by TDOT, and there's a lot of problems with the Northern Connector. There's of course artifacts there. There's some engineering problems with just north of the river near State Route 400 and the new bridge. There's some real engineering issues and there's some pretty karst topography up there. So the engineering issues have kind of deterred that, and TDOT has chosen, with the city's blessing, to go ahead and just do a widening project on State Route 91.
You realize 400 was originally planned for a 4-lane,
Yes.
but they ended up hitting so many problems with the karst areas that they dropped it down to a 2-lane. So that's the situation
Aren't
there.
there-
As far as the Southern Connector, it could open some land up in the Happy Valley area.
Is that is that a go still yet?
They actually let the bid, Blaylock Construction received the bid, didn't they? So yeah,
What's the time frame for completion?
I cannot answer that one.
The time
Do
frame
you?
for the 2014 is the completion for Gap Creek Road.
The reason I'm asking that is, positioning of schools and things, we need to look at the roadways.
Yeah.
And the better roadways we have for getting the students from point A to point B, like I was looking on that part through Gap Creek in the Happy Valley area. You've got a great road all the way from down to Stony Creek. You've got a good road from Rome Mountain. You see what I was looking at? I was looking at those types of things, and I'm trying to get in my mind.
Well, even with the southern connector, it's really going to open up Rome Mountain back into the western part of Carter County, especially where the industrial areas that they're looking at around SEMA, or not SEMA's, excuse me, Borla, and that area there. So that'll help. And like I say, moving the children, that's the big thing.
What is 400?
That's Watauga Highway.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Aren't there a meeting on the 13th at Tennessee Technology about the new road project?
Gap Creek Road?
Yeah.
They've already had pre-construction meetings on Gap Creek Road. They've actually already started construction. They've got right-of-way acquisition done. They're starting construction on that. So.
Is there any statistics on how much currently vacant housing that there is in Carter County or Elizabeth, and how many homes are there that aren't occupied right now? Is there a statistic for that? Is there any way to, y'all ever seen that?
Years ago, they had some information on that, but I hadn't seen anything current. Have you, John?
Yeah, the 2010 census releases data. They keep up to date on information regarding housing, occupied housing, and vacant housing. So I can't remember the exact 2010 percentage for Elizabethton, but if you just want to go to the Census Bureau, they can that information will be there.
Okay, thank you.
It's factfinder.census.gov, and just type in Elizabethton, Tennessee, or Carter County, Tennessee, and it'll pull up, and you can just scroll through housing information there.
Thank you.
Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
I don't have any more. Anybody in the audience have a question?
I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Just a definition. You referred to a package plant earlier. What is that?
You have two different styles of package plants. You have one that actually, like the Rome Mountain prison system is. It's a package plant that actually reconstitutes everything, and it just keeps spilling it over. The one in Hampton is a sand filter package plant, which actually the solids come in and removed out, and the gray water is run through a filter system. So you get several different types. They have aeration types where you have large tracts of land where you can go out and just blow the water out and get rid of it through evaporation.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
I appreciate it.
Well,
You
sorry
did a
about
good job.
the computer. All right.
Can you get